Korg 770, which was my favourite one, and I myself don't have one, which is a bit sad. It's very similar to this, which is Korg 700, and we would use this for a lot of riffs and bass parts. Because I don't have one now, the best thing, closest thing to it now is the Volca keys. So we're saying about the Human League song, so Love Action, which again we've got Korg here. The original recording used the Lin drum computer, which now all the sounds from that nicely loaded into the Korg Volca sampler. We've got, that's the Lin drum machine on the Volca sample. And the bass line for that song then done on the Korg 770, similar to this. So it doesn't quite do what the Korg 770 did, but the Volca keys I can get exactly the right sound, the same sound as I would have done on the Korg 770. So that would be. So that's more like Korg 770, and it's got a little better resonance on it and a little sharper attack on it as well. There was a song called Circus of Death where the bass part was it's in triplets, so we had a trigger coming from somewhere doing triplets. So you held down one key, so you had a sound like that. But it was chopped up by the signal, so you just held your finger down like that. But you held it down, it went, and then you just changed from note to note. And I don't know whether someone in the road crew had forgotten to plug the trigger in, but it didn't come through, so I had to quickly flick from external to internal and play it as triplets. So, about 4 minutes, I think I had cramp in both hands. For 4 minutes or so, cramping at both hands, and sort of after the show, going backstage, and because I had to fiddle with this, I'd missed the first couple of bars by setting it from external to internal. I said to everybody, "Oh, sorry, the first couple of bars weren't there, had a technical problem." Nobody had noticed. How I managed to do triplets all the way through that, I don't know. Certainly hands suffered from it. So yeah, things went wrong, yeah. No, didn't do any music till about 2 years ago. I started again. I love things like cutting up analog tape, making tape loops, and putting, as I said, putting electric guitars through all sorts of things, even through VCS3 synthesizers, and just to mess and get something different. I did an album last year, and I mean, it's a couple of years ago. I thought I've got all these what are now known as vintage synthesizers up in an attic. I ought to get them down and see if they work. Somebody might be interested in having them or buying them. But of course, to get them to work, most of them are modules in a rack, so you have to plug them in to get them. So I had to plug them into a keyboard to see if they work, and which led to hooking them up to some sequencing software. And before I knew it, I was writing stuff. So after 10 songs, I thought, well, that's an album. So, and it'll get released at some point. It'll be out on iTunes. When? I'm not sure, but yeah. Certainly the Volca keys gets used a lot. I just love putting a sequence in on Cubase, a sequence of notes that are in the key I'm working in, without any idea of what sort of sound I want, and just letting that sequence loop round and round and just fiddle with the Volca, because I love sounds. You know, I can manipulate with my fingers like that, and it's perfect. And just let the sequence go around until I get something like a that's a good sound, and then I'll record it. What I find as well, because it's again, we used to do this with Korg and other synthesizers, would be to do more than one pass, and even if it was being driven by a computer, because it's analog, when you record 2 or 3 passes, they're all slightly different to each other, which is another analog thing. And again, that's where you get these great sounds. So with the Volca keys, I mean, almost everything I do with that, I will record 2 or maybe 3 passes of it, and just get that. And of course, you then can spread it across the stereo as well. So, yeah.